supposed to.
Hope so.
I would think so.
Kind of a big deal.
He was out on Mar Road when we came by.
Okay.
Not that I was listening to your conversation.
No, not at all.
But it got really, the same thing happened last week, it got really quiet at 6:25, and I was like, wow, it's eerily quiet.
There he is. There he is. Hello. Hi, Rick.
Not too bad. Have a good weather. Have a good weather.
Oh, really?
Long story.
It's quiet. Told you, White knows it, not you, never mind.
Is he gonna be this quiet for 7 minutes?
It's a test.
It's a long time.
You failed.
You only got 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's 5 minutes slow.
It's like reverse power time.
He's gonna have refreshments, donuts or something.
Oh, you should be taking care of.
You're all set, Tanya? Okay. 6:30, I call a special board meeting of Hull Township to order. Roll call.
Mike Coddington.
Here.
Jonathan Hohenstein.
Here.
Sue Doss.
Here.
Matt Counts. Tim Bowl.
Here.
Shane Fagan. Bob Wilson.
Here. Please join me in pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the agenda.
Move to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion by Hohenstein, second by Doss. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Call to the public. Seeing none, we'll go to new business. Row Crop LLC. Mr. Freeman, you want to present your request?
So this is a request for a special permit for, temporary permit for a Luke Bryan concert, September 20th, at 5601 Westmar Road. It's at the intersection of Westmar and Fleming. This is a tour that we do. We've done it for 15 years now. We usually do 6 cities each year, and it's always on working farms. Something Luke likes to do. He's got farming in his past, in his family. So it's kind of it's a give back, but also a bringing something to a community that isn't necessarily going to see something of this nature. You may not get to a show, at an arena or a stadium, but you can see one on a farm. Real quick, scheduling wise, if we're approved, of course, we have a person that comes in the day prior and does some of the setup and advance work, and then the majority of us will come in the morning of the 20th and immediately start our setup. We start about 7 a.m. We set up our perimeter fence, our stage, and then all of the infrastructure within that perimeter fence. We advertise that parking opens at 2 o'clock, but we actually have our parking team and our law enforcement that handles traffic. We have them in place at 1, so if people just are antsy and get there early, we pull them off the road so they're not just piling up on the road waiting. Parking opens at 2 officially. The gates to the concert area open at 5. Music starts pretty soon after that. We have 3 opening acts. The one name that some people might know is Tyler Hubbard. He is one half of Florida Georgia Line. And then Luke plays from 9:30 to 11, and then usually takes a couple of hours, depending on traffic flow, to get all of the vehicles out. And then we're usually wrapped up by about 2 a.m., and we start to roll at that point. We have a cleanup crew that actually stays the next day, and then they work until the property owners are happy with the way their property looks. And we have one operations person that's there the day after as well, gathering light towers and other equipment. We have 36 on our parking team, and they've done it with us for a number of years now, so they're very familiar with parking people in a field. We have 24 security staff that travels with us. That is 3 primary security. Then the remainder are managers and key positions. So our backstage manager, our front gate manager, our VIP manager all travel with us. So they're very familiar, again, with our processes. And then we hire a local security company, a company that would normally do concerts at an arena or the amphitheater. And we will have, I believe we've bumped it this year. I think we're at 135 local security that work with us. They handle our ticket taking, our bag checks, we don't use mags like you would see it at an arena or a stadium, but we use handheld wands. It's a similar process of metal detection, but they just take a wand to each person. So that security team handles those positions. We have aisleways throughout the site. Those security people maintain those aisleways throughout the show, and then a decent number of them are in the pit in between our barricade and the stage. We work with local EMS as well as University of Michigan. We have 4 ambulances on site, and then University of Michigan, and then a variety of other EMT members, and then University of Michigan builds out a field hospital. We learned this a few years ago. By having that hospital, drastically reduces our number of transports. And every time we send an ambulance out, it's tricky to get them out and back in a timely manner. So the field hospital is very helpful. Obviously, you know, there's still possibilities that we would have to do some transports, so that's why we keep those 4 ambulances on site. We have in addition to that field hospital, we have a first aid tent, and that sits right inside our front gate. And it's two-sided, so as you're standing in line waiting to go in, you can see there's a first aid tent there with a sign, and then as you're inside, it's that same tent with another sign on the interior. So people see that when they're going in. If they have an issue that they can actually make it themselves to a location, they know to go there because they saw it when they came in. We have roaming teams, though, also throughout the site. If there's an issue where someone cannot actually get to the first aid tent. Working with Livingston County Sheriff's Office for traffic control and also law enforcement at the event itself. They'll have 30 officers that are working the event. And then off the top of my head, I don't remember the number of officers that are working traffic control, but the traffic control plan was in that packet. So that's EMS. We have fire. We're working with 2 of the local fire departments to have a brush truck and a tanker on site. Again, it's much more of a precaution than expected. The worst thing we've ever had is a car fire, and because we had fire services on site, we were able to contain that fire, and it was just that car rather than a whole bunch of cars. Our capacity and all of our systems are built on a capacity of 20,000 people. Our number of portable toilets, our food vendors, all of our security protocols are based on how many you need for 20,000 people. We average 3 people per car, so we're expecting around 7,000 vehicles, and that's the drawing that we did is actually just shy of that, but we're also expecting a decent number of ride share in this area. So, and our parking team, again, is very well versed in that. We have it just seems to be a growing thing in most cities outside of like the really, really rural areas. So our parking team handles ride share at all 3 of our entrances. That's kind of the big picture stuff.
Yes, are there any questions at this point? The only one I have, you mentioned EMS, fire, police, and I'm sure they're under contract.
Yes, sir.
How long does it usually take to pay them? I mean, do you have terms on that, net 30, 60, 90?
Normally, they are paid within 2 weeks of getting
Okay.
their invoice in.
Okay. I guess my other question, and just for our knowledge and for public record, has there been any tickets comped, any additional payments to anybody within Howell Township other than the necessary permits and special meetings?
Yeah, the only complimentary tickets that have gone out have been to the to property owners.
Okay.
And a handful of, like, a couple of my parking people have family near here, so they have some comps, but there's no comps have been given out to any local officials.
Okay, thank you. You have anything?
I just wanted to thank you for, I know I asked most of my questions during the planning commission, so I don't want to subject you to that. But I just wanted to thank you for getting the materials that we discussed there. I did want to ask, did you have any luck with additional cell phone service? I mean, that's obviously would be my biggest concern.
Absolutely. I did that a little bit of a document showing that the service is better here than at the Kubiaks. But unfortunately, Verizon was on board to help us out. They needed a fiber line, and Surf is the internet provider that has fiber in that area.
Mm-hmm.
I had been working with them all along, and the gentleman that I worked with left the company. I don't know whether on his own or was asked to leave, but the new person after getting them up to speed, they did try really hard to help us. Unfortunately, their higher-ups decided that their focus needs to be on permanent installations, not temporary. So they want to put fiber service in homes and businesses. And so they decided to not work with us. The Verizon people were great, by the way. Once I let them know that we wouldn't be able to get them the fiber, they brought into the conversation additional people on their team that are specifically associated with their towers, and asked if there was anything they could do to tweak the service from the existing towers. And that came back that they were basically at maxed out and there was nothing they could do to the towers to improve the system. Another person from Verizon reached out to me, and they're going to set up a tent at the event near our front gate, and they have a satellite Wi-Fi system. It's very limited on, like once 10 people are on it, it's maxed out. But they are going to, because it's just a small system, they're going to set that up at the event site, and if anybody needs to make an emergency call and isn't able to use their cell phone, they'll be able to utilize this satellite Wi-Fi. And it'll be password protected, so everybody and their brother isn't jumping on that system. They're also going to bring a charging station under that same tent. So if somebody's there, but they could make a call, but their power's died on their phone, they're going to let them charge their phones there as well. But as far as having additional cell towers, we were not able to make that happen.
So I noticed in the information you provided us, it seems like we do have a lot more towers in our area.
Yes,
So,
yeah,
I mean, I think it's an unknown at this point because it's never really been here.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I think we're trying to make it every precaution we can.
Yes.
And I did research, and Surf Internet does serve that area, so there is fiber up there. I was just wondering if it's possible, have you sent your letter? You haven't sent your letters out to the residents yet, have you?
I haven't. I was waiting.
Is there some way we could maybe put in there that, because a lady brought it up at Call to the Public during the Planning Commission meeting about making sure everyone's tied into their Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah.
So if you're home and your residents, your concert goers, you're gonna have all the medical people
Right,
there.
they're surrounded by public safety.
Maybe just something in there to say,
Yeah.
in the past, we have experienced
Yep.
cell phone difficulty, if that's what you rely on. Because there probably are some people out there that, they don't have landlines anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And hopefully, Sharon was the woman's name, I believe, that was here last time, part of the
On the
planning.
planning commission?
Yes.
Yeah.
She also mentioned that, like at her house, because she has fiber, she can make Wi-Fi calls.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, but I
we'll
mean,
check both of those.
I think there might be some people out there that maybe not, to know that
Don't
you can
know
do
that.
that, right?
Yes, sir.
I know
Yep.
my mom would have problems with it as far as tying, but maybe just a reminder, right? So
Absolutely.
the residents would have an opportunity,
Yes.
so.
Yep.
But other than that, that was my concern,
Okay.
so.
Okay. Bob, you have any questions? Sue?
Nope.
Chandler?
I was gonna go over some of the stuff that you'd already talked about, and I did have a couple questions.
Yeah.
I have a little more information than most of you, because the zoning department's been in the meetings that have been going on, and I do want to give a shout out to our local emergency management, EMS, 911, fire, police, because they are dedicated professionals, and when you sit in those meetings, you realize how much knowledge these people have and how dedicated they are. So, but some of the things that came up, this came up at the Planning Commission meeting. Did you ever get in contact with the Cohocton Township supervisor?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, and we talked. I sent him one email. He actually emailed me back late this afternoon.
Okay.
But we're going to add to what Chloride Solutions is already planning on doing. We're going to do, currently, what I recommended was out Burkhart to Chase Lake.
Okay.
Because he felt like Chase Lake was the route people would bring.
Right.
He emailed me back and asked me about Fleming, and I need to check, because it's getting to the point where it's getting a little cost prohibitive, but I need to see if he would prefer Fleming to Burkhardt rather than wanting both of them. And if he wants both, I just need to get another quote from them and see, because at the moment we're up to just a little over $10,000 for chloride solution.
I mean, I'm only guessing that, especially since you had the, at the Kubiaks, if people are going to go to there, and you said before that you're going to have a member there that will redirect people in case people are confused or
Yes.
they remembered last time where it was.
Yes.
If they redirect them or if they put it into their map, my concern is that they're not going to go down, pavement, and then get to the new site.
Yep.
And they might shoot down a road like Chase Lake because it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And they might go to Fleming. So my logical thought process was to extend your Fleming Road application all the way to Chase Lake and then Chase Lake to asphalt.
Okay.
So, touched on the cell service. So you did, Tim at the Planning Commission asked you for the indemnification letter. You have provided that to us.
Yep.
We do have insurance. They did provide insurance to us. We are working on a bond, but we
Yes.
haven't received that yet.
Right.
Is that coming
So-
soon?
Actually got an email this morning that it had gotten, so we're getting that through Travelers,
Okay.
and Travelers approved the different wording that y'all's lawyers had recommended.
Yep.
So it was sent to Luke's team this morning. They signed it. It went back to our insurance people, so she's just waiting for, she needs to resubmit it to Travelers to get it
Okay.
resolved. But
All right.
it's in the process. It's taking longer than I thought.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just glad I got to the insurance today.
Well, you got it to us. That's good.
Making me nervous.
I mean, to me, in reviewing your packet, you've adequate parking. It's going to be lit. You've taken care of the fencing, both on the outside of the parking area, but also along the drainage ditch, which I know came up in some of the meetings. It looks like you are providing enough toilets and enough solid waste receptacles. You do have an emergency plan that you provided to us. You're contracted with the sheriff's office and the fire authority and EMS, so that's all good stuff. You do have some of your own security team, as you mentioned. No, I mean, between you and the planning commission, you've addressed all the stuff that's in our ordinance that we need to make sure is being provided, so, things are taken care of.
Okay. What's your pleasure?
Do you still have some outstanding conditions?
I don't know.
Nope.
Do
The
you?
bond or?
Well, I mean, that is outstanding. I've already added that to the language in terms of it being acceptable.
It's a long motion, it's all yours.
Yeah, so
I was
you have it all in
I
front of you
was
there.
sitting and I was writing it out, yep. So I will move to accept the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approve the temporary land use and special land use request for the Luke Bryan Farm Tour on September 20th, 2025, based on the following. Number 1, the planner's report. Number 2, the recommendation of the Planning Commission. Number 3, for the temporary land use per section 14.25 of the ordinance, the applicant has demonstrated that the event will, A, not negatively impact the public health and well-being, B, the timing of the one-day event, all day of September 20th, and the cleanup being completed by September 25th is reasonable. C, the provided site plan complies with section 20.08 of the ordinance. Number 4, for the special land use per Article 16 of the ordinance, the applicant has demonstrated compliance with the following. A, section 1610 of the ordinance and ordinance number 6, by number 1, not occupying more than 50% of the parcel. Number 2, the area will be fenced along the road and the drainage ditch. Number 3, has provided an appropriate traffic plan. Number 4, has provided a list of the performers at the event. Number 6 is conditional approval on receiving a bond that meets the requirement of the ordinance. B, Section 16.06 of the ordinance by number 1 will be harmonious by meeting the requirements of Section 1610 and ordinance number 6. Number 2 will be designed, constructed, operated, maintained, and managed to be harmonious with the existing area. Number 3 will be served adequately by services such as roads, water, wastewater, police, fire, storm, and refuse. Number 4 will not be hazardous to existing uses in the area as long as the following roads are graded and treated with chloride at the applicant's expense: Marr Road from Owasso to Burkhart, Allen Road from Owasso to Fleming, Fleming Road from Grand River to Allen, and then hopefully the others as we discussed. Number 5 will not create an excessive requirements at public costs or services. And number 6 will not have a substantial adverse impact upon the natural resources and environment of the parcel or adjacent parcels.
Support?
Motion by Hohenstein, seconded by Doss. Discussion? Roll call?
Doss,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yep.
Hohenstein,
Yes.
Bull,
Yes.
Coddington,
Yes. You're all set?
Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody's time.
Thank you.
All to the public? Still seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Support, Bull.
Motion by Doss, second by Bull. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
It took me a while to go through it.
I can't believe you couldn't just read that out. You know, you should have had that ready.
Memorized.
were you having problems with this at all? I can't get this stuff streamed.